Right. Here we go. Alright, welcome back to Treehouse. Been, I think, a month or more since the last episode. The last time we hung out in trees, there was ELS at one weekend, and then the other weekend I really just didn't feel like it. Didn't happen. So yeah. It's been a bit. I think an entire month, yeah.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Yeah. And I honestly don't know what we're supposed to be doing. Now that the slideshow application is, done with, we don't need to work on that anymore. Or at least I don't want to work on that anymore. I don't really know what to do. We could return to what we were doing previously, which was...
Let's start anew.
Which is, rendering stuff. We're doing Phong rendering and looking into things like that. But I don't know. I've been really lazy the past couple of days. Like, I don't know. I've been burnt out by, bachelor's thesis. Right when I came home from ELS, well, the week before ELS especially was, like, extremely high pressure for me. And then since then, I've just kind of been burnt out and kind of didn't want to do anything at all. So that's great. Especially like past couple of days, I just didn't do anything. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Oh, I have some ideas for things, but I don't know. No, got rid. I guess another thing that I might want to announce is that once the semester is over, which is, I think it ends June. I think June 2nd or so is the end of the semester. I don't quite recall. But during June to August, during that time, I'm going to dedicate one entire week towards making a game, since I had to skip out on Ludum Dare. So I'm gonna be using that week to build a game from scratch again. I'll probably be streaming quite a couple of times during that. So, yeah. Want to see that, I guess. Look forward to it or something. But that isn't now. Right now, I need to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Exactly.
How about implementing some random interesting algorithms?
Implementing algorithms is the opposite of interesting to me. The things I like are high-level architectural designs. So I like to think about designing things, not implementing things. Implementation is boring, especially with algorithms. Yeah, I don't know. I have some ideas for stuff like, we're supposed to fix our Phong render at some point and introduce HDR and like bloom and all of those fancy tricks and stuff. At some point, move over and on to realistic rendering systems. But I don't know about that. Might get to that at some point though. The other idea I have is for a generalized, well, progression system is the best term I can think of, I think.
Have you tried Project Euler?
I know of it, but I haven't used it myself. I don't find that kind of stuff in... Sorry. I'm the kind of guy that when a book says, like, here's these exercises that you should do, I don't even look at them because I find them so boring. Anyway, so this progression system is basically like a more advanced development of a dialogue tree, basically allowing you to define a story and the progression within that story based on a graph. So, you know, yeah, you would have, ideally you would
You
have...
also know everything already. Nothing new to learn.
No, that's not it. I just really don't care about doing menial exercises. That's not my thing. Some people really like that, and sure, I mean, they can do that. If they enjoy it, that's good for them. It's just not for me. Anyway, so this thing would ideally would have the thingy. Hold on. Let me open up the browser. I mean, ideally you would have like a flowchart kind of system. Nope. Sort of like on draw.io. Draw.io, by the way, is really nice for making any kinds of flowcharts and stuff. I use it to make all my graphs and stuff in papers. If you ever need to do that kind of thing, I don't want to save it anywhere. There we go. So basically what the idea is that you would have like why did that's fantastic. Anyway, so you would have nodes of things, and then you could have like I don't know, stage 1 of 2 staging. And then you would have like different kinds of decisions that lead to different kinds of progression. That plot spinning back there. I don't know. Just an example anyway. Hey, next click. There we go. So my idea is that the outgoing flows, outgoing parts, arrows would have a condition bound to them that tells them when they would be followed. So this, I'm explaining this really badly. Anyway, let me try again. You would define your entire story.
Is there a WebAssembly compiler backend for Common Lisp?
No, and there probably will never be. There's okay, so you would define your entire story as a sort of a flow graph like this. You could of course also have things that go backwards or whatever if you want. Stuff. I don't know. And the idea is that the scenario would go the other way around. The idea is that you would define dialogue parts and you would define different kinds of changes in the game world in this kind of graph layout. And each outgoing edge from a node has a sort of a condition applied to it that if fulfilled, then the system advances to the node it points to. So the entire state of the story is represented as a single kind of pointer. So you have to pointing here, start, and then I don't know, the user would like start a subplot and it would point here, and then it would that and here, and then that and here, so forth. So that would simplify the tracking of progress for everything, and that would be quite nice.
Perfect. You can implement some graph algorithms for this, hey.
What kinds of graph algorithms would you need for that? I mean, you don't need an algorithm to follow a pointer. So yeah, that's my kind of idea. And like, depending on the outgoing graph edges, the conditions could be triggered by different kinds of events arriving, or some kind of property being changed, or I don't know. And whenever like one of these nodes is reached, it can have a certain number of side effects that occur to change the game world or whatever. And they can similarly use, like for instance, if you have a sort of stuff of metadata attached to an event like dialogue, so dialogue grab says grab, and bird says you know, could have metadata attached to each node, so that, for instance, when we're in this progression state and the user starts talking to something, you could look up what the dialogue would be, I suppose, at that point in the thing. Something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that, you know, bigger engines that are focused on story-heavy things already have that kind of stuff. There's a talk by the Witcher 3 developers about their systems for storytelling and so forth, and they had a bunch of stuff that was done sort of similar to this, where they had a variety of graph flowcharts that the story writers could make, and that would define sort of the mechanics of the story within the game. So something like that be cool to have. Now, several things that need to be done to get that. First is the system itself, so that we can even, you know, do this kind of stuff, and the other one is a visualizer for it, an editor, so you can actually find these kinds of things. And both are non-trivial things. I'm not sure if I want to embark on this journey. Right now. Maybe I should. What's the heart? Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. Also not sure if that could be a separate library or not. I already do have a library for graphs and flowcharts, but nothing that is focused on this kind of progression system. Maybe it would make sense to have that separate. There's not necessarily anything directly tying it to trial. I don't know. Sorry about that. Yeah, I still can't decide what to do. Normally the things I want to work on just come to me and I don't actually have to make a decision about them. But right now I'm in kind of a weird state where I don't actually want to do anything at all. So I don't know. I mean, this is Treehouse. We don't actually need to do anything. Talk about whatever. Draw more flowcharts. The other thing that I think I've talked about this before is like the UI system. But the stuff that I have implemented for that, I kind of want to scrap and throw out the window. Sucks. And the idea I had for a new system, I still don't have worked out in my mind. So that needs some more time before I can start working on it. But so far I haven't really found any time to think about it in the first place, so no idea how long that'll take. Sort of point of stability. What's that what's the term, the chemical term for when a oversaturated solution starts to crystallize? Term for that. Not the breaking point. Crystallization point? I don't know. Just nucleation. Never heard that before. Huh. Interesting. Well, anyway. Yeah, there is, like, the reason I started talking about the UI system is because there is a, visualizer component in the flow library. Looks like this. Fine nodes and stuff. And you can make a connection. But kind of fucking sucks. And it's written in Qt. And I'm less and less sure whether I want to use any Qt at all in any part of trial. So okay. Yeah, so anyway. That's why I'm not entirely certain about this. I think I'm gonna not develop this any further here. Instead, focus on adding a editor component once I do have a UI system that doesn't suck in trial. But that's probably gonna be years from now. Oh yeah. Whee. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything you guys would want to see? I mean, it's just 2 people right now. Because everyone else is dead for some reason. Dead and gay. 3D vectors and 3D matrices be rewritten. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Oh, that's the fucking 2-hour game, right? I remember now. Don't even remember my own shit. I guess there's so much of it. In a sea of shit. Make a website for live chat. Also finished the fucking live chat maiden client. Blind chat 2.0. Done that.
Sorry I'm late. What's today's tree?
I don't know. Been trying to decide for 20 minutes now. And you know being around doesn't help.
Oh, alright.
Is there anything you would like to see? I mean, you know, anything you would like me try to do? Because there's lots of things I would like to see. I don't want to do. Like to see world peace.
What things would you like to work on?
I don't know. If I knew that, I would have decided already. I'm not asking you about what I would like to do. I'm asking you what you would like me to do. Oh yeah, that's it. Better thing you don't know how to use it.
Well, I don't know what the choices are.
Choices are whatever you want me to do. I'm asking you what would what would interest you?
A visual novel.
Visual novel. Really? Like one of the easiest things to do. Guess I will flow into progression system stuff. that I've been talking about before you joined.
Yeah, lots of systems to support that.
Okay, so I guess in that case, let's think about what kinds of things a progression system needs to be able to what is the term I'm looking for? It needs to be able to represent. So readable to everyone. That's just Emacs. Scratch buffer. So we would need what exactly? If we go by the previous model, I'll reiterate what the model is. The story is represented as a flow graph, wherein nodes represent states and edges represent changes in the state. And each edge has a condition associated with it that, if fulfilled, then the state automatically advances to the node that it points to. Which means that the entire story state is always represented by a single pointer to the current node. And you can track progress like that very easily. Now, one thing you would probably want to have is something like a something like a node that's nested somehow, so that you can have like things in here. No, nothing like that. I don't know, like that. Oh. Asshole. Fuck. So that you could have like inner progressions. So while the outermost thingy just points to this node, the progress within it is tracked separately. Yeah. So that you could have a thing where you're in a certain dialogue situation. So this represents dialogue 1. And then within that you have actual things people say. What's up, man? You have like nothing. Please let me click on that. Text.
Dialogue about birds.
Treehouse. And Alright, dude. Stay tight, man. There you go, and then you have like thick dialogue like that. You know? And that's my idea. I don't know why that text went bold. Why did it do that? Don't. Okay. Right, so you would have something like that. And I'm not sure, because decisions aren't really represented by, you know, if you know flowcharts, then you know that there's like actual things for like this is a decision, and then you have like a yes and a no flowing out of it. You have actually like decisions are represented by nodes, but in this case, every node is potentially a decision, and which way we're going depends entirely on the conditions of the outflowing nodes, outflowing edges. So there's no node for that, and I'm actually not entirely sure if there's any specific nodes at all that you would have. I guess like nodes representing dialogue parts or something, or action. Yeah, I guess we could have that. Then you would have different edges that go flow unconditionally, edges that flow triggered by an event, and edges that flow triggered by a some kind of variable change or whatever. I don't know how you would observe a variable. Exactly sound like you would need all that much, honest. I suppose things like variable changes would need to be checked by the system when the associated node is being examined again. Trigger for that. I don't know. Trying to think about what kinds of things even happen in stories that might need presenting. Certainly you have like things like removing and adding objects from the scene, or changing some kind of global state. To be honest though, I'm not sure if it makes sense.
Well, output directions that go different ways depending on variables.
Different ways. But that would just be multiple separate edges that have different conditions. Doesn't need a special type.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's already not a thing we need to add. don't know, I can't really think of anything. Like, obviously you would have, you know, one of these would represent one plot line that has its own pointer, and if you have multiple plot lines that are separate, that can go on simultaneously, you would have multiple trees and those multiple pointers into things. Guess there would have to be a type 2. No. Also trying to think about how to do this in a way that is not necessarily tied to trial, but I'm quickly losing confidence that there's any point in that. There's not that much to do in the first place, and all that there is to do, you know, to make it convenient probably is going to be very specific to trial. Event stuff and...
Might be best just to go for things.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Start making the visual novel and create features as you need them.
Not really how I roll, though. I like to think about things. Most visual novels are really, really primitive. They're like maybe one or two counters, and that's it. That decide everything. Need anything more? I don't know. I don't know.
Evening, sorry I'm late.
What's up, man? I haven't really been doing anything. So, sweat it. Been talking about progression systems.
Jam game shitting up hard on Windows right now.
Oh yeah. How long has it been since you tested on Windows?
Hee hee, yeah.
I don't know. Ah. Hmm. Hello, log. Hmm. I'm making it. Means still encoding hell as usual. I just started writing stuff. He joined. I've been talking about nothing for 40 minutes so far. Trying to think about how to... Did he find? Oh, there it is. God damn it.
What are you trying to do right now?
Trying to think about how to do it. Okay. Not really much to say. Need to brain. Don't. Hmm. Alright. There it is. This an error. Doesn't matter if we can. Please. Alrighty. I'm trying to think about a progression system, which is the name I have come up with for a system to represent stories in games and the progression within a story. My idea is to use a flow graph for that, and I'm trying to think about how to exactly structure that in code. Funny. Why is he sitting on top of the swing? How swings work? Not that, dude. Not how it works. Not meant to be used like that. Legal. Stop. You violated the law.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Then pay with your blood. Why won't you die?
There we go. Back to this shit. That's not working, or did I just not hear it?
Ah, spider.
Oh, it still works good. Guess I just didn't hear it. Alright, what do we need? Methods? Where?
Can you make the font one size bigger?
Still, been using the same size for a while now. Haven't complained so far.
I've been squinting this whole time.
Okay. Get if I have a node. Flow define node. So and accept that and that's no. Actually, dumbass. Connect. Well, connect. Works. Ah. 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 Boot. Hey. Okay, so it returns me to connection. That's what I want. That's good. Crashing is a problem. What? Be readable on 720p? Yeah, you're right. What the fuck? Why is that so bad? Holy shit. Yeah, it's unreadable. Holy moly. Why? I'm running like pretty high bitrate. It's weird. Ow. Is like YouTube crunching it? Or what? Really bad. Hey, this is Treehouse. Just a chill Sunday evening stream with some coding on the side. But right now I'm worrying about the bitrate because for some reason. Complete garbage. Switch real quick. Better. Switch. Complete garbage. Switch real garbage. Quick. Okay. Gonna need a different profile for this where I stream in better quality. Okay, hold on.
Being cute.
I'll be right back. I'll change the settings around real quick so that it doesn't look so shit. So don't go anywhere. Okay, are we back? Not shit now. Come on. Bye. The fuck, man. YouTube back up, fine. The fuck? Okay.
We live.
Okay, good. Yeah, I should be back on YouTube now as well. I don't know. Sometimes these... Alright, I guess I'll need to use two different profiles for code and for other stuff. It still looks fucking shit. Ah. Wish I could tune this. Not be bridge. Sorry about this, but... I don't know what the fuck. Well, anyway. Okay. I'm not sure about this. And the management of the date for the progression does thorn in my eye. Because right now there's condition met P. It doesn't take any state or anything. Probably a mistake. What kind? That's the question. Guess it could take any kind of state, so... And then the overall... plot or story or whatever object would... call... condition met P with states that was introduced or is currently active. Based on that, it can make this. So for instance, if an event arrives, it will call condition met P with the edge in the event. That's just... I don't know, maybe. Hello. Of course I used a REPL. Frequently to test things. So just seconds ago. By sketch, what do you mean? Or you mean, do you mean like the common list library or what? I don't actually know anything about that. I know it exists. I know some people think it's cool, but I haven't actually looked into it myself, so no, I'm not using it. Yes, I'm using trial because that's what we're developing. perhaps. I want to do this. Don't know if I like this at all. No, that's not. No. Ah. Sure, this is extremely interesting to look at. Riveting, probably. Sure, why I'm so hesitant. Guess I just can't really make a clear picture. Or maybe I'm still being lazy. But I've been the past few days. Probably a combination of both. Mm-hmm. I don't. Hmm. A way of extract. Let's see. Oh yeah, with slots, here it is. I don't know why I didn't see that, huh? Interesting. Hooray for compiling things. I have a mini DSL for defining checks.
Compiling is my passion.
Hmm. I wish I could extract variables out of Code Walker. Hmm. Yeah, I need... Wing. Okay. 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 Not ideal, but workable. So you would... Yeah, it needs a better syntax for this. Immediately blow up. This would get incredibly verbose really quick. Finding graphs in text is really difficult. Because how do you represent this kind of structure in text? Like, succinctly. Succinctly? However the fuck you're supposed to pronounce that.
Pronounce what?
Succinctly.
Succinctly.
Succinctly. Whatever.
Thames.
Yes, thank you. Use a synonym. Like what? What's a good synonym for succinctly? What is going on with this music? Good job, asshole. There are several words like short or brief, but they're not exactly the same. I guess brief comes pretty close. But briefly, also kind of weird. Concise. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in a concise way, I suppose, yeah. More elaborate to say than succinctly. Get to more. Latin.
The main tweak to your pronunciation of that word is sus like sustain. Don't pronounce it as AC sound.
Succinctly. But that's not how the TTS pronounced it.
Succinctly.
See?
Succinct.
You should
Succinct.
ask ISO about these words.
See? It's not succinctly, it's succinctly.
Succinctly.
Succinct.
Succinct. You can even see it there. Succinct. It's a hard K. There you go. See there? Hard K's, boy.
Guess I've never said it right then. D.
There you go. Anyway, apparently it comes from Latin. Succincere.
Succinct.
Succinctus. Suck. Anyway. Latin can suck my balls. Not too worrying about this. I mean, actually, with the common Lisp syntax of using labels, not be so bad. Well, label syntax is reader level, so it doesn't actually work for our case. if we actually had that, it wouldn't be bad. Yeah, if we...
Go fuck an aqueduct, Latin bastards.
Yeah, man. What have they ever done for us? Mm-hmm. I don't know, like... Obviously, if you have a sequence of things that follow each other, like A and then B and then C, it would be written like this, right? But what if C can now branch off into different things? For example, D and... Because if you do this, then suddenly the rules don't make any sense anymore. This looks exactly the same as this. Whoops. So... Yeah, I don't know. Guess could use something like fucking vectors to denote different choices. I don't know. Really like that either. It also doesn't really include the ability to describe edge
How about a mapping
conditions.
from symbol to a list of symbols? So e.g. backquote to 2, B, C, B2, C, C2, backquote.
Yes, but that requires a name mapping already, which means you need to have a separate definition of everything, which is what you're describing is essentially equivalent to doing a let of all your things, right? And then doing all the connections there. So A goes
C, W, W, do.
so forth, no? Which, you know, I guess it works. That is simple to do, but not entirely cool. Like, because doing it like this flattens structure of all the important information, especially for dialogue. What you care about is the text and in which ways it flows. And if the actual, you know, flowing of the text is only represented like this with abstract symbols, it quickly becomes
I'm thinking of some recursive combination of definition and usage, fixed point or so. Yeah, but then we get back to the same problem of how do we actually do things? We would ideally what you would have is something like, you know, Lisp's label syntax. This, then you have like, you have A, and then you have B, and then you can have, I don't know, and then you can later refer to these like that.
but that doesn't really work because that's read time. And we need to have runtime values. Really difficult to make graph descriptions in textual form. Doesn't matter. Well, trees you can do, but generalized graphs.
How about functions? One function per node, and calls to other function represent connections. Is something like that possible in Lisp?
I mean, sure. I just don't see the point. My current problem is not at all related to the actual execution or evaluation of the code. That's already written. That's that stuff up here. Does all that. What I'm looking for right now is a purely textual syntax for the user to define these kinds of graphs succinctly. I don't need anything else, whether it maps to functions or objects or whatever underneath. Completely irrelevant. Basically, I'm designing the user interface right now. No surprise that pretty much any kind of graph software immediately goes to this kind of thing, where you have a point-and-click kind of interface to do these things with, because
Right,
text is...
but maybe Lisp can do some macro magic to allow tight declaration of functions, or something like that. Was just an idea.
Yeah, sure, but again, functions, like, bear no relevance to this. The function is already too concrete of an object. We're purely talking syntax, which is characters here. Text is good at trees and lists, but it's not good at graphs. I've had that problem a multitude of times in the past. I still don't know a good way to resolve it. I think we had something in LD38. I think 38. Was that it? Yes. It's something like this here. That doesn't really work, so. Not for the kind of thing I'm trying to do right now. This works well enough for a more limited kind of thing.
I have not seen anything nice for this either. Not succinct lie.
Yeah, maybe it's just a folly. I don't even know. Might just something I shouldn't think too hard about. Problem is just like I won't be able to make this kind of visualizer for a long time. So need something in the meantime that is serviceable. Fuck is my CPU spike? What is going on there? OBS use shit ton. Right. Whoops. Might be.
full power to resolving birds.
You're doing it. Showing it. Weird. Huh. Odd. No, they're just... Yes. Yeah. Nosy birds. I think I would need...
Birds are sitting and chilling.
Yes, they should. I think I'm gonna need like multiple kinds of different kinds of shorthands for different
How about
purposes.
a list of paths, A to B to C, A to C, C to A for your graph online there?
Well, sure. But again, that makes it very confusing to read. So I'm beginning to doubt whether there's even any kind of way in order to do this non-confusing in general. What I'm tending towards right now is that you would need special purpose kinds of syntaxes depending on what you're trying to do. So for instance, for flat dialogues, you probably can get away with using something that's just tree structured.
Does it? Seems pretty easy to read for me.
Yeah, but you're using single symbols, dude. Try expanding that to actual sentences and things. Like you're all in all of your examples so far, you're always omitting the actual content of each node. You're just labeling them and then defining the graph with those labels. Making a description for just labels is easy enough, but when you start mixing the actual content of the nodes within it, it starts to get confusing. Anyway, so back to what I was saying before. I would say you need like special purpose kinds of structures. So for instance, for a dialogue tree, you would have like, I don't know, define dialogue. Blue would have A, B, C. Or it's just done in sequence. And then you would have a different kinds of paths you can take. So for instance, a choice that will be predicated each case by a condition, so I guess this will be an implicit cond or something like that. We would have like a, I don't know, check A, and then you would have further dialogue here, you know. And at the end it would simply unwrap and follow as usual. Unless you do a specific jump. Go. Something like that. Suppose in this scenario too, you could add labels in, so it would simply become a tag body. So this would sort of be... No, a tag body wouldn't work if you need to jump further in. That.
Compile SCUMM.
I actually wonder what people did back in those days, like when they were making adventure games. What kinds of stuff they used. Because they made like really long and elaborate text adventures and stuff. Anyway, I suppose like for something like this, you could simply use a structure like that. But for other things like this, probably need something different. Something that actually allows you to reference other nodes explicitly. Yeah. I'll need to think on this some more. And not today. Not tonight. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know how much I can do, if anything at all, in a general, non-specific, special purpose context. But you probably want to have, like, kinds of predefined special purpose contexts so that you can use them easily. Since, you know, dialogue trees and so forth are probably going to be a frequent occurrence. Relatively, right? Having tools. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay, for next weekend, I definitely need to think about what we actually want to do. Because this has been kind of lame. I'm probably gonna return to Fong rendering, cleaning that up and making it actually work right. If you recall from last time we worked on that 300 years ago, it didn't work quite right. We didn't get normal mapping functioning properly, and we never actually made it modular at all. So right now the Fong stuff has predefined numbers of lights and it's all one huge thing. And I'm thinking that especially this year, and way this is calculated, can be split up into different kinds of classes that can then be combined together. But yeah, there's definitely stuff that needs to be done. make this usable. And once that's in place, we can move on to advanced techniques, HDR and so forth, and see how that works out. That's probably gonna be next week. I'm not entirely certain yet if I do want to do that, but most likely. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be anything happening in the last 6 minutes now. So I think
I wish I
call
had
it here.
had time to develop stuff like this.
Hey, me too, dude. Alright. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me. And see you hopefully next week. Ciao.